Hi guys, welcome to my 1000 subscriber YouTube Q&A, which is crazy. I didn't think I'd get any questions. I put it out onto Instagram and there was like 15 minutes when no one asked a question. I was like, oh my God, this is really bad. And then some of my day ones absolutely delivered with like 3 or 4 questions. I'm really grateful. By the way, you guys know who you are. And then I put it out onto LinkedIn as well, and the tribe delivered. The LinkedIn tribe pulled through. So I'm really excited to jump into this video and into the questions. But firstly, thank you so much to anyone who has subscribed or has supported me. It is always daunting putting yourself out there and essentially building in public, which is a sort of mentality and mindset, which I'm really trying to adopt. Whether I launched a podcast when I was at university and no one listened to it really, when I was writing blogs, putting out LinkedIn posts, I think people support when they can see that someone's trying to do something. And I'm so grateful for everyone who has supported. And 1,000 subscribers is crazy. 10 subscribers was crazy to me. So I'm trying not to get too up to the numbers, but being able to do a fun video like this is quite cool. So I wasn't gonna miss this opportunity. Okay, so we're gonna jump straight in. So how does it feel to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube? To be honest, it doesn't feel any different to when I had 4 subscribers or 5 subscribers. The cool thing is the community building, that I can kind of crowdsource content ideas and to crowdsource ideas like this to do videos. That's really cool. But I did make a point to try and like celebrate like 992 subscribers instead of 1,000. Because I think if you get too caught up in the numerical side of things and the, oh my God, I've got a big audience, oh my God, I've got followers, then that's quite negative. So I never want to get to that point. I never want to have to think about those sorts of stuff. Like I can't comprehend 1,000 people. 100 YouTube subscribers seemed massive to me because there's something about YouTube subscribers feeling like someone's kind of clicked that they want to see more of you in comparison to followers, which is a bit more blurred and a bit more washy. So there's definitely something more about subscribers, which does feel like it holds more weight. And I felt that way when I had 100 subscribers. That was such a big deal for me, and it almost felt like a bigger deal having 100 subscribers or having 20 subscribers. Even if it's just friends and family, that felt like a big deal. So this is all quite, it's kind of just happened. It's quite weird. How does it feel? It's cool, but like not getting too caught up into that sort of stuff. Okay, so next question. Why did you decide to start a YouTube channel? That is a great question. My first video, which you can check out, I'll put it in the description box. It's a really bad video, and that is basically a tutorial of how to make carousels on LinkedIn. And the reason I made that video was because I was getting about a direct message a week on LinkedIn saying, how have you made this type of content? And honestly, the thought process was, if I can make a video, like a tutorial, it seems to be something which people are interested in and would like to know. Let's go and make a tutorial and I can give people the link instead of like describing it and doing a screen recording each time. This is kind of to save myself time, but also I think it was just trying to put something out there to the world. But we all have knowledge we can share. And if people just get into that mindset of trying to just share openly what they do know, then that's going to provide value to even just one person. And that was the mentality. So yeah, that's how YouTube started for me. And then following that up, so plans for the future with YouTube. I think with content creation, you have to do what is sustainable. So if you're creating content about something which you enjoy, and that's always been my approach, is to just document the stuff that I'm doing. So if I've read a book or I've listened to a podcast, I just started creating content and flexing that muscle of creation with those sorts of posts on like LinkedIn and other platforms. And then with YouTube, I think for this to be sustainable for me, I think it has to be the one sort of like pillar of content can be documenting what's going through in my life. So for example, I am building a business. So learning business is a series which I can document that. So I'm not coming from the perspective of being an expert. And Ali Abdaal has a really nice quote about that. So be a guide, not a guru. So I'm not trying to be a guru about business because I'm learning as I go. But there are millions of people out there in the world who are learning as they go as well and would be interested in someone talking from experience, even if it's just one step forward. So I'm definitely going to just with YouTube continue to document. Whether that becomes vlogs and stuff, I don't know. I do enjoy this sorts of content, like hopefully, engaging with the community and building it up. That would be fun and that would be fulfilling. Also as well, like I want to just have more of a podcast setup. So I'd love to sit down and just record a conversation with friends and also creators and people that I'm really lucky to work with now. I would definitely like that as a type of content. So maybe YouTube can be more of a podcast sort of setup and conversations. I do love some lifestyle YouTubers. I don't know if I have the lifestyle to show. Like I've been in this room for like the last year, it feels, with lockdown. But I do like how some people have carved out a channel for themselves where they can just literally sit down, talk about what they're interested in, and they've been able to make, whether it's a business or a career or like a full-time thing from that. And that's definitely possible. So that maybe that's something I would explore as well. Okay, this is a good question. If you're able to give one single piece of advice to someone starting out, what would you choose to say? In terms of content creation, so putting yourself out there, there's a huge movement right now of building in public. Not only is it quite cool to do a series like Learning Business, where if in 2 years it's successful, even if it's unsuccessful, it's just good to have like hit record, like watch that back and to see like that, what were the struggles that I was thinking about? How have I come on from there and how have I grown as a person? So whether that is like, you know, we all do it, writing your notes on your phone and like documenting and like journaling your thought process. I think that is really important for content creation. In terms of the advice I'd give, is honestly just to get started, just get stuck in. I've learned so much from writing content like blogs and just posts, to the extent where it's like a practice where my thinking is being refined. You go to write a post, and it, like, I'm the biggest rambler in the world, and I'll try and keep this video short, but like you go to write a post, it can be so long and it forces you to write it concisely. Like, what am I actually trying to get across here? And where is the value add and why is this important? And those sorts of practices, just constantly refining your thought process. And I'm gonna mash up what someone has said to me before. But if you can't explain something, it's something like muddled writing represents like muddled thoughts or something like that. If you can't explain something to someone, it's because you haven't completely got it like set out in your head. So whenever you're writing content, you've got like a playground to refine your thinking and to be more creative. So if you're doing that every day, like that's just going to lead into so many different avenues and opportunities which you can never really experience. So I think just get started. I've consistently been creating content on LinkedIn and now expanding into other platforms for 18 months. And I had wished that I'd started 2 or 3 years before, because it's single-handedly changed my life. The people that I've met, the opportunities that I've had, from full-time job offers to freelance opportunities to getting to meet just literally the creators and the people that inspire me, like the books that I read, the podcasts that I listen to, being able to meet those people and being able to like have them on WhatsApp and to ask them questions, like in terms of mentoring opportunities and just like genuinely changing your life, creating content is the answer. Like, I cannot express that more. What gives you the biggest buzz in life / in work? In work, it really is the people that I get to work with. So I was very intentional. I try to be very proactive to surround myself with, you know, we've got one life. So if in the evenings and the weekends, there's topics that you're interested in, there's creators who you just literally love and who inspire you, why not try and reach out to them? And I've had so many failed attempts at doing this, but when you keep trying and keep plugging away, it will start to pull off. And I'm very lucky, I count myself as lucky to work with some incredible people, to the extent where I would listen to podcasts and YouTube videos anyway in my evenings and my weekends, and now I get paid for it because I've been able to provide value to this person in different ways, or to try and be someone who is useful to have around. And then now I get kind of paid to repurpose their content. And that has taken time to get to, but it was an intentional move. And if you can be intentional and if you can be proactive in thinking, who are people that I want to surround myself with? How do I want my circle to look in 5-10 years time? How do I want my circle to look in 2 years time, or next year, or in the next couple of months? And what, if it's in terms of work, what businesses and brands do I use anyway, which I would love to work for? Because if you enjoy what you're doing, then you're gonna just grow at such an accelerated rate. What keeps you motivated to create content? That's a great question. I think that ties into what I just kind of said about, it has to be sustainable. If you asked me to create a YouTube channel about fishing, I'd have no chance. I'd maybe create one video, maybe I'd show up and do 2 videos, you know, 1 video a week. And after that point, I have no motivation, no intrinsic desire to talk about fishing. I don't know about that. So just say, like, what are you interested in? Again, like, what do you do in your evenings and weekends? What excites you? What lights you up? And also, what do you have experience in, or a unique advantage or like access to something which other people don't have? We've all been given, like, you know, a hand to play. How can you maximize the hand that you have at your disposal? What experiences, what insights, what people do you have access to which other people don't have access to? And just try and make the most of that. So in terms of motivation, it just has to be sustainable. And linking back to the question about where do you want your channel to go, I think that's really important, because if I don't follow the sort of content I want to create, then this channel will just literally be dead in 2 months' time, and I won't be doing the Q&A 2000 video. You always give great advice and tips. Thank you. But I don't think you've talked about the one thing we all want to know. What hair products do you use? There's quite a few of these. What's your daily hair routine, and how on earth do you manage those curls? What hair products do you use? I don't know whether to take this seriously or not. So the hair questions make me laugh. So no one in my immediate family has curly hair, which is quite worrying. And obviously I'm rocking a self trim. I did like a 2 back and sides over lockdown. I've got a clipper set, which is a brilliant present, by the way. I've not touched the top, I've got an afro growing at the moment. It's quite funny with the curly hair, because when I was younger, the coolest thing was to have short and spiky hair, like short hair, back and sides, and to have spiky hair. That was the look. And I couldn't do it, my hair wouldn't do it. And I'd literally cry to my mum, and I'd like be shouting at her, be like, why have I got curly hair? Like literally. And then the craze after that was the Justin Bieber, like, you know, hair, like long hair to the side. And again, my hair couldn't do that. So I've always hated the hair on my head. And then kind of these curls have manifested, and yeah. All right, so to take the question slightly seriously, because I'd love a sponsorship because I use this stuff every day. All I use is hairspray, and I use this stuff to glue the hair on my head every day, right? If Silver Grin want to reach out, is that the thing you do? The focus, is it gonna work? There we go. If they want to reach out and give me some sort of like annual care package, it'd be amazing. Also as well, like to move on from the hair stuff, but I actually bought myself a Christmas present. I don't do anything to my hair, like this is just how it is. I bought one of these things, which is called a diffuser apparently. So this thing, right, hairdryer, and then this is called a diffuser. I've not used this since. This is my Christmas present to myself, right? And I don't actually know what you're meant to do. I don't know if you put your head in it like that and you just go like, you hold it. I think you hold it. Like apparently you do that. For some reason that works with curls, okay? Like I don't do this, right? It's not my tip. But anyway, that's the hair questions answered. I'd be interested in your story of how you met Ali Abdaal. Very good question. So I'm actually gonna save this for a video in itself because it's actually a really cool story of how I got to hear about Ali, how I met Ali, and then how I have been able to work with him and essentially just be able to call him a friend and a mentor who inspires me to no end. I've never met anyone who is so open to sharing knowledge and who wants to help other people. Like there's no one who comes to mind. Ali is an incredible person, and I will save that for like a full video. All right, so rounding this video off, a couple questions on life questions, which is quite nice to answer. So what are you most excited for next, Joe? At the time of this video, we have some light at the end of the tunnel. Finally, it looks like we're gonna get vaccinated for COVID in the UK and that we're gonna have some restrictions uplifted, which is awesome. So I think I'm finally just looking forward to being able to enjoy the fact that the work that I do now is remote. Like I've met so many people online over lockdown, which is amazing to have that social interaction. And a lot of my work is done remotely, which means that, you know, from going self-employed, a huge appeal to me for working for myself was to just have my laptop and be able to work from any location. But with COVID, I've had to just stay in one room for like 6 to 8 months. In terms of short term, I'm very excited to actually be able to potentially just work from some different locations, do some traveling, and to be able to meet some of the people that I've met online. So life is hopefully returning. If you had all the money in the world, what would you choose to do with your life? But what a question. That's such a good question. I've never really tied happiness with money. So that's the direction I'll probably take this. Like I can remember being 13, 14, 15 and just feeling really happy and like complete credit to my family and friends and people that I have around me. I remember once when I was younger being unable to sleep because I was just genuinely happy and like high on life. And this is before I was even in like sixth form or like secondary school in the UK. And I literally just said to myself, like, can I get happier than this? And I think I'm very lucky to say almost every year of my life has got better. And I thought about this the last time I was like thinking about New Year's resolutions. Like every year has got better. There's been more people that I've met, I've grown as an individual, and I have like learned more. So every year's got better. And that's how I want things to go. So in terms of like, if I had all the money in the world, I don't actually necessarily think it would change anything or change like the life sort of journey or course that I'm on, because it very much is happiness in the journey. And I'm very lucky to say recently I've had some like really good milestones or things that have happened in my life and people that I've met and opportunities. And honestly, if you've not experienced that with other people or they've not been a part of the journey, sometimes it does feel empty. Like if you've just gone and achieved something on your own and no one else is kind of involved or no one else is there to feel that with you, it can feel quite empty. So I think just enjoying the journey, having a really good balance of like enjoying the work that I'm doing and then also having off time and downtime and enjoying relationships and meeting more people. If that is how things continue to go, then I'll be a very happy person. And I don't really think money would change how I would go about what I do, if that makes sense. Favorite music genre and best playlist for focus work. So yeah, for focus work, lo-fi beats really does help me to just get into flow and get into deep work, and to help me to be more proactive with what I'm doing and to just focus on one task. And a quick plug to a friend of mine, check out on Spotify Rager and the song Nowhere. If you like lo-fi music, you're gonna like that track. Knowing what you do now, what, if anything, would you change when creating a new business? A huge mindset change, which was forced upon me from being just a freelancer to suddenly, from like luck and opportunity, having inbound like attention and having to deal with it, is to build out processes and systems. There's 2 books which I'd really recommend. So we have E-Myth Revisited and we have Work the System by an author called Sam Carpenter. Having a system mindset will help you in all areas of your life, whether that's content creation, business. So I've been trying to build a business which is a machine, and it gets to the point that if you get a new client or new interest, you're dropping that into a machine with ready-made processes for delivering that service. And I think that's the way things have to be to actually be able to scale. To scale business, you have to be able to have processes that can be repeated. So there's been a huge mindset, and I've definitely learned that the hard way. And from attention coming to me, I had processes built for just one person fulfilling the work as a freelancer, and that completely got wrecked and like destroyed me because I had attention coming in, I had to constantly like adapt the way that I was doing work. And the last question, to respect your time, when's the podcast coming? Great question. So tying into the channel, I do really enjoy just having conversations with people. And from a content creation, social media sort of repurposing side of things, like for clients, I will repurpose a YouTube video or a podcast and make loads of clips. And I've been really working on basically building a content engine for clients. So how can you just consistently just churn out content on socials for your audience? I've been building this process, and the goal was always to, if I could build this really refined way of putting yourself out there, then I want to almost treat myself as a client, just drop myself into this system and this like team which I've created. There's definitely the goal is to put out more content for myself, because from doing videos like this, even when one person was watching or just no one was watching, I've always enjoyed it. So I definitely want to continue that as well. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching this video and your support for the channel, and everything that I do is genuinely so appreciated. I don't know why you'd watch this sort of video. Hopefully it was half entertaining. It was amazing to get all these different questions, and it's also reflective as well to think about, why did I start this? Where do I want this channel to go? And to reflect on the things that did noticeably make a difference in terms of putting myself out there with content and things like that. So I'll continue to document the journey, and thank you so much again for your support. It really, really, really does mean a lot to me.